Live from Stadium Swim at Circa Las Vegas, it's Cofield Company.
Oh, wow. Alex, you're in one of the coolest places in Las Vegas, Circa. By the way, we have Brad Powers coming up, who his only complaint about Circa is the music's too loud and it's not enough old stuff. Brad would love to be sitting here in Boise with me because, first of all, the place we're staying at is awesome. It is a resort straight out of the 80s. So it looks 80-ish, right? 80s-ish. They got Christmas trees everywhere, so I love that. They've got a lounge. In addition to a performance room, in the lounge, there's some guy with a guitar, and he's playing live music, and there's probably 13 people in the lounge. No, none of them are looking at him. But he just did a back-to-back, belly-to-belly Neil Diamond set. I mean, come on.
I didn't realize that you were in the lobby area.
Oh yeah, this is generally when I'm on the road. It's we don't have like a broadcast center. Although what's funny is Lotus actually has a radio station here. I didn't even reach out because I'm on the road. I really want to be on the road. I don't want to be in a radio studio. Right. So every time I go to a hotel on the road, I'm like, okay, let's see what we have. And today is Neil Diamond impersonator who already did Johnny Cash and followed that by Tom Petty. So I will throw some money. I will throw some money in the tip jar for him in a little bit.
Very good. Always tip. Where's your spot? Where do you like to go eat when you're in Boise?
Well, that's a good question because I have my spots that I like to eat, but they're not the spots that the crew would like. We have a very snotty crew. Griffin knows this, and I don't know if you heard the Broadcaster Bites podcast we did about Logan, Utah. They had kind of a mid-level buffet called Chuckarama. We've given a lot of pops to Chuckarama, but they're not necessarily good. And boy, oh boy, Caleb Herring just eviscerated the place. Just killed it.
I didn't appreciate that. I didn't appreciate it one bit.
I forgot. You're a Utah guy.
That Chuckarama has done good to me and my family for years.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest food, but you're going to at least be full when you leave.
I think I really believe he sandbagged it and like grabbed stuff that like he knew wasn't going to be good. I don't know why he did that, but there is a Chuckarama here in Boise, but I thought they might have breakfast because I was like, I can't go through the mental exhaustion of listening to the former Rebel quarterback just crush a place and crush the spirit of folks like me who like a good mid-level cheap buffet.
Alex, have you ever gotten to enjoy a good Chuckarama?
I have not, no.
How often have you been to Utah or Idaho?
Yeah, I've been to Utah probably three times.
Good for you. Good for you.
I'm just gonna on the bucket list though.
Don't. No, I was actually saying good for you. Good that you didn't go. Not to rip on Griffin, but I get like I say all the time, and I could do this every day, but I don't want to hurt the feelings of people from Utah. But in the Battle of Nevada against Utah, it is good versus evil, and we know who the good is. And the great thing is I said that one time to, why am I blanking on his name now? One of the radio guys in Salt Lake, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm like, I don't think you got what I just said. You're the evil. We're the good. How did you miss on the sarcasm there? Please, get it together.
Utah does have some evil traits. I will give you that.
We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But no, the places to go in Boise, because it actually is a really cool college town. Again, this is not a rip. I like places like this that have, like, who knows who traipsed the hallways of this joint. The memories have to be magical.
Traffic is brought to you by Meineke, your one-stop shop for total car care. Trust your keys with Meineke, doing car care right.
Accident being reported at Las Vegas Boulevard that's showing at the Fashion Show Drive. Also, Hughes Park Drive at Summerlin Center and 15 northbound before Afton Road. That's between Barstow and Baker.
Traffic is brought to you by Meineke, your one-stop shop for total car care. Trust your keys with Meineke, doing car care right.
Meineke might be a big name, but doesn't come with a big cost. In fact, right now, you can get an oil change starting at only $39.95. That's just $39.95. Visit Meineke.com for the independently owned and operated Meineke near you. Press your key with Meineke, doing car care right.
Sign up today for a new William Hill Nevada mobile sports account, and you can earn a $50 bonus bet on top of your original $50 or more deposit and wager. The William Hill Nevada mobile sports app allows you to bet on the go from any iPhone, iPad, or Android device from anywhere in Nevada. Sign up today, and you will never miss another bet. With the largest wagering menu, the mobile sports app features live play wagering on all major sports. For more information, official rules, and to see participating sign-up locations, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tequila Comisario was developed in the relentless pursuit of perfection with a deep passion for agave. It's the most awarded tequila. You'll immediately notice its beautiful packaging, and after just one sip, you'll experience how smooth it is. It's the Ferrari of tequila, the single highest quality. 100% all-natural handcrafted Comisario tequilas, Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Tequila Comisario, a proud partner of the J to the Break Show.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, an NFC North battle when Jared Goff and the 11-1 Lions host Jordan Love and the 9-3 Packers. Detroit has won 10 straight and has yet to lose a game in the division. Can Green Bay, on a 3-game winning streak of their own, put an end to both trends? Join us to find out on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on the Las Vegas Sports Network.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Good morning.
Vegas is built on service.
Studio lights on, please.
3 shifts a day.
All right, let's do this.
As your morning begins.
It's showtime. We have a lot to talk about live on the program for the next 3 hours.
To do our part, News 3 Today delivers Las Vegas stories that shape your community.
Just some breaking news on the economic front.
So, whether it's late breaking
news,
bumper to bumper,
Avoid using flamingo,
or clearing skies,
no showers anticipated.
It's News 3 Today.
Gambler's bonus hits again. On August 27th, Mark hit 4 threes, clearing his Gambler's bonus 4-of-a-kind bingo card for over $11,000. Mark hit big and so can you with Gambler's bonus. It's why you play the game.
It's Cofield and Company's Eye on Sports Gambling, presented by Oasis Bar and Grill, only on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
Special teams wise, been one of the best special teams units in the country. From blocking kicks, by far one of the best returners in the nation. In number 21, Ricky White's blocked a bunch of kicks for touchdowns. I mean, we know special teams wise. I mean, they put it on film.
Let's bring in Brett Powers here on this Thursday, hanging out in Boise, getting ready for the Mountain West Conference title game, and over at Victory Burger, right above the Circa Sportsbook, is Alex White. All right. What's going on, Brad?
What's happening? Thanks for having me.
Not much, man. Not much. We're hanging out here in Boise, staying at a sweet hotel. I was just mentioning, I think you would love their lounge here. They've got a lounge singer. He's got his own guitar. He's done a little Johnny Cash, little Neil Diamond. He mixed in some Tom Petty. So I think right up your alley.
Yeah, that would be right up my alley.
Okay. I've ranted, and I think I've been a little too preachy. I admit that, but I know it's going to be part of hyping this thing up. But between ADs, commissioners, and coaches, the whining about positions in or out of this CFP has gotten really dopey. You, as a guy who crunches the numbers, have you been sitting back and hearing some of the cases being made about this dominance over this conference, that they would never do this in a year when college football is more balanced than it's ever been? What do you think when you hear this, when you know what point spreads are?
Well, I mean, I don't read too much into it because it's all talk. It's all a TV show as far as I'm concerned, including, the playoff selection show is a TV show. Obviously, you can manipulate any number you want to your advantage. So it's no different than touting 101 when it comes to the handicap in this space. So, obviously, I'll use Alabama. We'll just use them as the example. Do I think Alabama is one of the 12 best teams in college football? Absolutely. Do I think Alabama's going to make it when it's all said and done? I do think they make it. Do I think, though, Alabama deserves to make it with 3 losses, including a 3-touchdown loss to a mediocre Oklahoma team in their second to last game? No, I don't think they deserve it. So, but I say this all the time. They never specify. They never put their fist on the table and say, hey, our job is to pick the 12 best teams or the 12 most deserving teams. If they just said the 12 best teams, then it's pretty simple. I mean, it shouldn't be much different than your average, Vegas power rating is the 12. That's the best 12 best teams. So you're not concerned with, as far as the win-loss record. You're just going out and picking the 12 best teams. They don't do it. They do some combination that leaves you, it leaves me feeling a little queasy, like I was, mid-afternoon on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there you go. Wait, what happened? Bad
I
food
just, man,
or bad
it
bets?
was a bad joke.
Yeah,
bad joke.
I
didn't even have Thanksgiving.
I thought there was going to be a bad
I don't
loss.
like turkey though, but that's usually how I feel after eating turkey.
Okay, so the crazy thing with, for example, the Big 12. The Big 12 is being pounded from above. Lane Kiffin is beating up the Big 12. So then Brett Yormark's like, you know what? I'm going to go after the guys below us. From a power rating standpoint, Boise and UNLV would be what? Like 10-point dogs in the neutral to Arizona State and Iowa State? Because that's what he's suggesting.
No, not even close.
Exactly.
4.5 is where they'd be underdogs. So not that big of a difference.
Absurd. Totally absurd. All right, well, let's break down first Tulane and Army. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, anytime you're playing the option, I always want to know what's your experience defending it, since it's so different. And John Sumrall, the Tulane head coach, has seen the option 3 times the last 3 years. He's given up a total of 9 points, including a 35-0 win over Navy earlier this year. So he knows how to defend the option, per se. I like Tulane here. I bet Tulane. I'm okay betting it now at 4.5. The only concern I have is John Sumrall, the Tulane head coach, has been linked to other jobs. So does he have an eye somewhere else? Because Tulane did have their worst performance of the season in their last game on Thanksgiving against Memphis. So that's my concern.
But do you think he gets all sad because he saw Bill Belichick interview at North Carolina?
Yeah, that's
what did they
go
do?
from one 70-year-old to another. I mean, that's look, Belichick in college football would be an awesome storyline. It'd be good for college football, but come on, North Carolina. Usually when you get, this, Steve. Usually when you fire the coach, you go completely opposite with your next coach. You don't go from one 74-year-old over the hill guy, a white guy, to another 74-year-old over the hill white guy. I don't get that.
That's ridiculous. I made the claim, or at least the thought, that maybe they're just trying to fight against an age discrimination suit, and Belichick's like, you know what? I'll do an interview just to cover your ass. I'm 72, he's 73. Let's do it. This UNLV Boise game has so many cool elements in it. And I do think that the UNLV side is different from what they were when they lost 29-24. Do you agree with that? And what's your basic handicap on the game at 4.5?
I need 4. I need above 4 to bet UNLV. I think UNLV is the right side. And you're going to say, hey, how can you be, make a case for Boise? How can you not? You like Boise at UNLV -4 earlier in the season. Why are you not betting Boise at home -4, 4.5? It's because of what you just said. They're different. Since that game, UNLV's played 4 much more complete games than Boise. Boise looks like they've been tight. In fact, I'll use one data point. Both of these two teams, in a matter of 2 weeks, both played at San Jose State. Both of them very misleading finals, in my opinion. Boise State and San Jose State was a game basically even that somehow Boise State won by 3 touchdowns. The Boise, the UNLV San Jose State game was a game. Okay, UNLV won by 11, but if you watch the second half of that game, they destroyed San Jose State, particularly just running it right down their throats. San Jose State also had a pick six that made it this misleading. So because of those two game results, I think we're getting value here. I like UNLV, and wouldn't be a bit surprised UNLV goes on the road and shocks everybody. Not me, but they shock the college football world and they win this game. They go to the playoffs.
What about this Conference USA Championship game? We just saw these two play as well. Western Kentucky, Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State laying 4.5. What are you doing with this one?
It's a one-factor handicap. It's all about the health status of the Jacksonville State quarterback, Tyler Huff. He got banged up in that game last week, injured an ankle. He relies on his feet because he's a second leading rusher. Looks like he's going to play. The question is he going to be close to 100%? If he's close to 100%, I lean Jacksonville State. If he's not, I kind of pass. So what do? We live bet it. We see what he looks like the first series or two.
Brad Powers with us. Brad Power 7 up on Twitter. Brad Power Sports on the web. So we mentioned the Big 12 and power ratings, and so give me your take on Arizona State as a slight favorite against Iowa State.
So numbers and information matters. Let me walk you through this one. So Circa Sports opened this one up on Saturday night. They opened up Iowa State favored by 1. I'm like, I make Arizona State 1. So let's, it's late in the year. There's only 9 games. I like action. Let's bet Arizona State +1 here. I think they'll close favorite. So flip forward to now, Arizona State's favored. So how can you sit here and I'm going to lean Iowa State? Well, the information is different. Arizona State does not have one of their best players, that being the Tyson, the wide receiver. And I think with their limited other options at wide receiver, he's worth a point. So I went from, okay, I bet Arizona State +1 to now at 1.5, Arizona State favored by, I lean Iowa State. Made the game pick them, if that makes sense.
SEC. Oh, no, go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
How have you done with that power rating for Arizona State? Because, I mean, really just the last 5 weeks, they've just been running through and winning these games so easily. So, I don't know. Does their power rating match right now who you think this team is?
So, I mean, it's a good question. I've upgraded them more than any other but 2 teams in the entire country since the start of the season. The only teams I've upgraded more, Indiana and Vanderbilt. That's it. So, obviously, Kenny Dillingham's done a wonderful job, almost a full 2 touchdowns since the start of the season. As far as the power rating, and do I have a big overlay here? No, I don't. I make like Arizona State like a half point with Tyson out.
Ask you about the ACC because I'm thinking this might have been a little bit of a flip too. We've got Clemson sneaks in there after the Miami loss. SMU -1.5. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, numbers matter again. So again, Circa opened up Clemson favored by 3 on Saturday night. I said, SMU's probably going to be close a favorite. So I bet SMU +3. However, at current, and now that I've dived into the matchup a little bit more, I lean Clemson +1.5. I like Clemson's defensive front against SMU's offensive line. I think SMU's playing with a ton of pressure. I don't think they're automatically in. I think, in fact, if they lose, especially they lose by a touchdown or more, I think they're out. They're putting in Alabama over SMU if given the choice. So because of that extra pressure, because Clemson's kind of playing with house money, and they've been there, done that in the ACC championship game, I lean the Tigers.
When in these games, do we factor in the venue and the proximity to one of the schools? Because you tell me if they put it in the number. We have a guy who does national college football for us, Michael Felder. He's a North Carolina guy in Charlotte. He thinks there's going to be 50,000 Clemson fans who drive up a few hours to go to Charlotte. And then obviously there's the example of Texas, his favorite. The game's in Atlanta against Georgia.
Great question. You absolutely do. And you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. So as far as the Clemson example that I just mentioned, I think you got to give Clemson a point of home field because they're used to playing in the venue and they're going to have a significant crowd edge. Similar to Georgia, same thing. I gave Georgia a point of home field. Why? They play in Atlanta every year. In fact, a lot of times twice a year. This is the second time they're playing there this year, and they'll have more fans in the stands than Texas will. So, you got to give those teams a point, and that's why maybe one of the reasons why I lean with both teams. With the Georgia-Texas game obviously being a rematch, I expect Texas to make some adjustments. They better after Georgia went in their house and punked them, especially their defensive front against Texas's offensive front. But when it's all said and done, if you're giving me a 3 and there's still some 3s out there, I'm going to take Georgia because I expect an A+ performance out of them. I'll take Georgia +3 against anybody if I think they're going to play their A game.
talked about, are there any totals that have jumped out to you that you really like?
Let's stay in the SEC. I certainly lean under here. I can tell you this: if it was old school, like it's a 14 playoff format, this would be my best bet of the week under, because it would be all or nothing. Hey, we're in a win, we're in a loss, we're out as far as the playoff. I think it's a little lackadaisical without that added pressure, but still, how do you bet an over here? I mean, Texas's offense struggling. They're banged up. Ewers and their left tackle. Georgia's very hit or miss on offense. Look no further than, they're Jekyll and Hyde in that Georgia Tech game that they just last played. So, boy, I love Texas's defense. I think it's probably legit the best or the second best defense in America. So under for me.
Tell me, and I'm not rooting for this because I dislike this school with a passion, but tell me that the upset of the apple cart is going to be Penn State finally delivering in one of these big games, and all of a sudden Oregon isn't the shoe-in to make a run.
You're not alone, everybody. That is supposedly the sharp side of this entire card. Penn State plus 3.5. I'm not. When the threes show, and I think they will, I like Oregon. I think Penn State's overrated, not just in big games, but I think this defense is overrated. They have faced 2 top 50 offenses this year. USC, who put 400 plus yards on them, should have won the game outright. And Ohio State, okay, they limited Ohio State. But when it needed to be done at the end of the game, Ohio State just stopped Penn State at the goal line to preserve a 7-point lead. Ohio State ran it 12 times right down their throat, ran out the final 6 minutes of the game with a banged-up offensive line. I loved what I saw from Oregon last week. They are the number 1 team in the country, not only in an AP poll, but even in my power ratings at this point.
All right, we got a big game on a Thursday here. These matchups aren't always great around the National Football League for Thursday Night Football. What are we doing? You got to lean alike, Lions 3.5, or the total maybe at 53?
Nope, I like the Packers, not only plus 3.5. You got to pay a little bit extra juice, but I think the Packers win tonight outright. I know the Lions are the best team in the NFL, but they're really banged up. Spot to me screams Green Bay.
All right, Brad, I'm gonna go tip this guy in a couple minutes. What do we? You want to text me? Think about it. What song do you want me to hear? One of your classics. You want some yacht
I don't
rock?
know.
What do
I
you want?
have to listen to see what he.
What do you want,
anything
rock?
in them singer songwriters in the early 70s is okay with me.
All right. There's a bunch of names rushing through my head, but I don't want to insult you. I was gonna go James Taylor, and I think you'd be like, "No, that's
That
ridiculous."
singer songwriters early 70s. That fits the bill, man.
Oh wow, I nailed it. All right. Well, I have $2, so maybe we'll play James Taylor. Brad, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks for having me.
Attention plumbers, HVAC